Hey there, Rebels, it's me, Faith, and welcome to another Gender Rebels short. Today I wanted to help answer a question that I know a lot of people have been curious about. People who are just maybe starting out a journey or not sure if a journey is right for them. This is a common question. And that question, it may not be phrased like this, but the idea is there. And that question is, am I transgender enough? And this is an interesting question. I've seen this a lot on Reddit, on MTF or Ask Transgender forums. We have definitely gotten this question a ton from various listeners and viewers of these fine programs in our podcast, linked down below. Am I transgender enough? And a lot of times this is people who are obviously living their life as the gender that they were assigned, and they feel like they might be transgender. They've got maybe thoughts, this may be you. You've got thoughts like, I really like the idea of being transgender, or I've always wanted to be, a different gender than I was assigned, or I much more easily identify with this other gender, or I like the idea of presenting of that gender, or I like their clothes or their activities and I think I might be transgender. Am I transgender? And I think this is something I thought about in my own transition. I did not come out full-time until I was 35 years old. So believe me, I have definitely spent a lot of time wondering, am I transgender enough? It is a real question that a lot of people have, myself included. So let's get to the core of this. Am I transgender enough? When I was thinking about transitioning and I was leading up into I'd already talked to HR, I was already on HRT, was ready to come out at work, I was ready to start full time. I just started going, is this real? Am I actually transgender? Am I really transgender enough? Am I just a cross-dresser? Am I binary, non-binary or something? Do I really want to do this? Is this crazy? And I realized something at that point. I was like, cis people don't think that. Cis people don't wonder, am I transgender? So yeah, if you're wondering, am I transgender enough to transition? You're probably transgender. Welcome. Does being transgender always mean you have to transition? No, of course not. And this is where I think a lot of people get into that nervousness around this question, or have those self-doubts around this question. Because they think being transgender means, okay, now I've got to go get surgery. I've got to start living my life that way. I've got to get a whole new wardrobe. I've got to come out to everyone. I've got to come out to work. This is all it's too much. It is a lot. It is a freaking lot. Transition's not easy. Transition comes with a ton of difficulties. Transition's scary. I get it. It's totally okay that you feel this way. Something you need to realize is that not every transgender person transitions. If you have these feelings, this gender dysphoria, you know that the gender you were assigned at birth is not the gender you identify as. You're transgender. You are feeling this way. You are uncomfortable with the birth gender you were assigned. That is being transgender. But that doesn't mean you have to transition. Transition is a personal decision that's up to you. You can choose to transition or choose not to transition. Not all transgender people transition. Some transition part of the way. They transition part-time, or they might take HRT for years before presenting. It's up to you. It's a personal decision. So are you transgender enough? Yes, you're transgender enough to claim the term. Don't go into the restroom of the gender you're not presenting as. Anyway, you can claim the term, but that doesn't mean you're transitioning. It doesn't mean you have to go out and get surgery. It doesn't mean you have to go find a doctor to get on HRT, and it doesn't mean that you need to come out to anyone right now. This is your journey. You can take this journey as slow or as fast as you want. Whatever's right for you. So are you transgender enough? Probably, if you're asking that question, but are you so transgender that you need to transition and change everything about your life? No, that's entirely up to you. So I hope that helps answer that basic question, and thank you guys so much for tuning in.